Hello everyone, welcome to the Outer Wilds modding recap for July 2026. Technically we're covering everything in May, June, and July. It seems like the best time to do these is about every 3 months, so that's just where we are now. It is hot right now, so obviously we are on Ember Twin, hanging with our good buddy Chert, and we're gonna go over things that are happening in Outer Wilds modding and just Outer Wilds community in general. So we have Mod Jam news, we have Andrew Prowlo news, and we have a lot of new mods that have released in the past 3 months that I want you to know about. First off, there have been 11 new mods since we last chatted, bringing the total up to 399 mods. So let's quickly go through these and look at what new stuff has been created. Outer Wilds Arabic Translation is another localization mod made by Hesham. It seems like it contains a custom Arabic font, which is pretty cool, and it's been right-aligned text. I'm American, so I don't know anything about other places. A lot of languages don't read left to right. Many do, but there's also some that don't. So it looks like they've even taken that into account for the text boxes themselves. So thank you, Hesham, for making that. Clean Energy by Game Dev is designed to create a new mechanic for the ship where it runs on solar power. So it looks like the distance you are from the sun will affect how much power the ship has. And I think you have to manage the battery, it looks like. So kind of like a weird ship enhancement spinoff in a sense, where you just have a new wacky way that your exploring can go wrong. So that's gonna be fun. Quantum Rocks is a mod by Sanbai Ming, who has done a lot of translating. And it is a short story mod about quantum stuff. I actually played that one here on the channel. I'll put a link in the description if you want to go watch that. It's a lot of like dialogue and coming up with a new story for why quantum things are the way that they are. It was cute. A user by the name of Mistress Nebula has given a Outer Wilds Italian localization fix. According to their README, the Italian localization of Outer Wilds isn't the best. It's pretty good, but they say that there are some things that are confusing or maybe are not properly translated well, and they've gone through and fixed some of those. Supposedly this mod makes it better. Obviously I don't know myself, but that's great. Appreciate you going to the effort to make those corrections. Outer Wilds Uncap FPS does exactly what it says on the tin. Orthwade has made a mod that uses delta time instead of fixed time step. I think I know what that is, but not well enough to discuss it here. If you don't know what this does, then maybe this isn't the mod for you, so it's probably not one I'm going to use. Hey, any performance mods are always welcome. Audio Randomizer is made by Etherpod, so you know it's going to be good, and it randomizes the sound effects and music in the game, which sounds hilarious. I definitely want to try that out for myself. It looks like it has certain settings, so sound effects, music, slide reel music, and signals. I think all those can be randomized separately. I love more ways that this game can just become chaotic. Cheese Runner 1 has created a mod called Cheese Tools. Wonderful. And it's designed to replace the Speed Tools mod, which is designed to help you learn and get better at speedrunning. So it has tools to toggle a whole bunch of settings, invincibility, oxygen, fuel, setting certain systems in place to make it easier to practice stuff without having to constantly reset the game. Apparently Speed Tools has been kind of abandoned and hasn't been updated in a little while, so Cheese Runner has made Cheese Tools to fix that. It contains a lot of keybinds. This might be a mod worth looking more into. It seems like there's a lot here. So thanks. More toys to play with. C Cuckoo, I believe that's the username, has created traditional Chinese translation refined. It seems like another cleaned up translation. They say it's done sentence by sentence by hand, retranslating the game. So that's great. Same thing with all the other translation mods that I bring up. I appreciate all these people that go to the effort to make this game more accessible to more people, so thank you. Speaking of which, why not one more? Outer Wilds Vietnamese, made by La Luminescence, is here to put the game in Vietnamese. Appreciate it. Okay, more goofy ones. Fuel Huffing by Pile of Oxides. Sure. Why not? I'll try this one out too, I suppose, to see what it actually does. This one's interesting. Outer Wilds subtitle mod by Leafy. It adds subtitles onto the screen that refer to sound effects. I have a friend that uses this all the time when playing Minecraft. You can enable it and the text appears in the bottom right of the screen, and it tells you how far you are or which direction certain sound effects come from. To make sure you don't miss anything, or if you hear a weird sound you haven't heard before, it lets you know what it is. So it looks like they made a mod that lets you place it on the screen. You can adjust the font size, the sensitivity, all those kinds of things. So I'm sure there's some players that would really, really appreciate that. So that is good thinking. I'm surprised that didn't exist before. Appreciate it. Alright, let's spend a few minutes talking about some updates and some major mods. I say this every time, there's so many updates to mods. I'm just covering the ones that I find interesting. Archipelago Randomizer is always getting updates. They fixed a bunch of logic with some mods. The main thing I wanted to mention was there's a location, Find Gabbro's Ship, which is an object that floats on the water of Giant's Deep. Gabbro's on an island and his ship is just floating out in the water. Finding that is one of the locations in Archipelago Randomizer, and that was being triggered by the ship on Brackett's Rest in Fret's Quest. In Fret's Quest, I used that exact model, and I guess the component that Archipelago Randomizer looks for on Gabbro's ship, I also copied into Fret's Quest. So there was a bug apparently where when you'd go to that ship in Fret's Quest, it would trigger Find Gabbro's Ship. Sorry about that, but that's been fixed. Timberhearth Forest also got some updates, and we kind of dunked on this mod in the past, but apparently they have turbulence now. And they spent a lot of time making sure that the lighting on the clouds and everything looked great. So I'm going to have to check that out soon. It sounds like they put a lot of work into it. First impression of the mod is it's a cool idea, but the execution was hilarious. And now it's like, sounds like it's actually pretty good. Because they're focusing on performance and making it look cooler, so great work. Ship enhancements mentioned back in April that they're switching to a update format with smaller themed updates. So we got one in April 2.3 that focused on the ship's signal scope. And again, these are all things you can toggle. That's the purpose of ship enhancements. You can turn on and off different things. There's now stuff with the ship's signal scope specifically that you can change. So you can like zoom in, you can enable and disable other features with it. So man, that is just one of the coolest mods in the database. Great work. Pod Racing Tracker went up to version 0.2.0 and has support for live split, which is pretty cool. There's now a overlay destination selector, which is neat. And they've adjusted how a bunch of the files and the structure of the mod is set up to make it better for making, I think, more features in the future. So neat. Finally, Flight Path Vector received a bunch of updates and small improvements. So there's a new HUD that shows a lot of different information about what your ship is actually doing. Alright, a few more pieces of news we need to get into before we're done. Andrew Prallo showcased a video, I'll put a link in the description, of Timberhearth performed live, like up on a stage. But there's going to be an upcoming live music album, which is going to be really epic. I have a feeling it'll sound grander, bigger. I'm very excited for it, and I think we're going to get a cool video to go along with it as well. So be looking forward to that. Next up, PT Minsker. Many of you may know this Outer Wilds speedrunner has set a new world record for the game just this past month, and they were able to break the 7-minute barrier. Current world record that I'm looking at right now is about 6 minutes 57 seconds. I will put a link to one of the runs I found for that in the description of the video. Fantastic work, great stuff. Speedrun Solek% next. Next thing, the Summer 2026 Mod Jam. The 6th Mod Jam is coming up very, very soon, as after this video releases. Here's the website for it. I'll put a link to it in the description. Let's just skim through it real quickly, see what's going on. So we have this picture here. This is of Helio Study from Mod Jam 5, one of the winning mods. It was just incredible. Also notice the scout on the ship here. I guess that's to help with lighting. You're encouraged to use New Horizons Creature mod. However, this isn't a New Horizons only jam. So you can write custom code to add new gameplay mechanics. Great, great. Theme will be revealed in 10 days from when I'm recording, which is Saturday, August 1st. So it's very, very soon, and it'll be a 2-week jam. So it'll go from the 1st to the 14th. Make sure that you need to implement your theme. I was really hurt one time because I had to deduct points from a jam mod that I really liked because it didn't quite match the theme, but that just happens. The prize pool for each jam is made up of contributions from our community. If you want to contribute, you can let them know on Discord. They have these current prizes here. Okay, here are the rules. I'm always curious to see what these are. You can only have utility mods as dependencies, so you couldn't make an add-on to stink in the box or something. New Horizons, Slate Shipyard, that's used to make ships, Vanilla Fix, of course. There must be at least one release uploaded to GitHub within the jam deadline. You can only contribute to one submission, so you can't be on multiple teams, you can't have multiple mods submitted, you have to stick to one. All submissions must follow the Mobius Digital fan content policy. You can't steal anything. You can use any assets you have a license to use. You're allowed to use assets you find, but you must be careful to understand and follow their licenses, right? Okay. Judging criteria. We will review based on the following criteria. How well does it follow the theme? How polished is it? We value quality over quantity. So it mentions one highly polished feature is better than 20 unrelated mechanics. One highly polished planet is better than 20 empty planets. Absolutely. And then overall opinion, the judges are allegedly people. I'm not sure about a couple of them. So the review process will be mostly driven by personal opinion. I, for the most part, feel like for the past few mod jams, people can readily agree on like what the top 5 are or so, but maybe the ordering of the top 5 people might disagree with. So just keep that in mind. There have been very few mod submissions that I've played that I haven't enjoyed to some extent. Yeah, it also mentions here that the guidelines can change. This is a community event. We're in it for the fun. How to participate. I'm not going to go into this. You just need to read this if you want to participate yourself. You just need to upload it to GitHub and publish your mod the correct way. There's tutorials and things on how to do that. So teams. We prefer teams to be on the smaller size, 2 to 3 people. I don't really recommend doing something yourself unless you're really dedicated to it. Any more than 3 gets chaotic, so that's a good amount. Okay, yep, go on the Discord if you have questions. You're welcome to ask me questions as well. If I don't have the answer, I can find the person that has the answer. One more thing I wanted to note about this is that I have been asked to judge again, which is very exciting. I don't know if that's been confirmed that I'm judging again, but I would really, really like to, because I thoroughly enjoyed it last time. Playing through all of them really quick and then talking about them with the other judges and figuring out what we liked and didn't like. So looking forward to it. Excited to see what happens in the mod jam. All right, and that's all I've got for now. If you want to chat with me, you can leave a comment or you can follow the link to get on the Have a Discord server if you'd like to chat with other people there. I'm still working on Fret's Quest 2. It is just taking a long time and my life has gotten so much busier since I started that project. So I appreciate everyone's patience with that. All right, excited about the mod jam. I'll see y'all later.